Thanks and welcome to the 6:15 with me, Kejan Henry Atembe. We begin with some headlines. Reactions keep pouring in on the death of Anicet Ekane, underscoring the gravity of the incident and the need for clarity. And Parliament has closed its November session with a strong appeal for peace, with House Speaker outlining a month of intense legislative work and urged lawmakers to champion unity in the face of national challenges. And tensions in Boundary are following the brutal murder of a young motorbike rider this morning. The incident, which occurred at tous in the Hausa neighborhood, is just the third of its kind reported in just 24 hours. Top stories. Because on our respective platforms on Canal International, we begin from the Adamawa, precisely in Gandhi, where tension is very high following the brutal murder of a young motorbike rider. Early this morning, the incident occurred at the tous, that is in the Hausa neighborhood, which is a third, of course, of its kind, reported within 24 hours. And Andy Morin is reporting that authorities have opened investigations why they have actually called for a strong vigilante group to be put up. Titles.
A young motorbike taxi driver was reportedly murdered early Tuesday morning in the city of Gandhi. The incident occurred at a place known as Douala in the Hausa neighborhood. The victim, a man in his 20s, had left home around 5 a.m. to begin his usual day, unaware it would be his last. His attackers, who made away with his motorcycle, gave him no chance. He was sacked multiple times. Union leaders are now calling for increased vigilance among riders. The state prosecutor quickly arrived at the scene to assess the situation. An investigation has been opened to track down those responsible. The incident adds to what residents are now calling Black Tuesday in Gandhi, as it marks the third violent attack on bike riders within 24 hours. According to the president of the local riders union, 2 other riders were also assaulted and are currently receiving emergency treatment at the regional hospital.
Nous rappelons à tous les mototaximans que le mois de décembre, c'est une mois très sensible. Vraiment, il faut que chacun soit responsable de ce qu'il fait, qu'il contrôle ses clients.
The union has issued an urgent call for riders to remain extremely cautious and avoid isolated areas, especially during early or late hours.
Thanks very much, Maureen. We swing over to Yaoundé, where Parliament has closed its November session Thursday with a strong appeal from House Speaker for peace to reign in the country. And of course, he outlined a 1 month of intense legislative work and urged all the lawmakers to share reports from Yaoundé.
The curtains of the hemicycle are drawn. This December 2nd, 2025, 30 days after deliberations marked by lively debates, landmark agreements, and a resounding call for peace, the November session saw the culmination of a busy agenda, including the swearing-in of the President of the Republic on November 6, after his re-election on October 12, 2025. Key highlights included the adoption of crucial legislation such as the Biological Production Bill, investment incentives, an agreement with some foreign countries on the diplomatic passports. Also known as the budgetary session, the people's representatives have adopted the 2026 budget to the tune of 8,816 billion, 400 million CFA francs. But the opposition MPs continue to decry the violation of laws in the process.
The November session is mostly for the budget of the nation. And we have passed the budget. But the circumstances that led to it, the laws were not respected. But we did everything to ensure that at least let the nation not come to a standstill because the budget has not been passed. But we keep on hammering and letting the government know that the laws of this land must be respected.
The session also showcased dialogue on land management between the parliament and government. And delivering his farewell message at the end of the November session, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Kavayeyege Jibril, on behalf of the members of parliament, continued to call Cameroonians to prioritize peace initiatives, especially with the seeds of violence imposed on certain localities by the post-electoral unrest.
And CPDM has secured a sweeping victory in the council or in the regional elections in the Littoral region, winning all the 4 divisions of the region. The results were declared today at the Court of Appeal, and Morindi is reporting that most of the councillors, 90% of them, are regaining their seats while new faces are jumping in.
The smile on your faces said it all. The hugs, the joy all marked the CPDM's win in the Littoral Regional Council elections. The Vuri Court of Appeal officially declares the results today, December 2, confirming the CPDM as a winner in all 4 divisions that make up the Littoral region. Most of the elected officials are familiar faces, former regional councillors returning for or second mandates with only a few new names on the list. The regional councillors we spoke to were quick to share their action plans and priority projects for the coming term. In terms of priorities, health, roads, infrastructure and schools, this new term must go beyond the foundation laid in the first mandate. We expect to add 1 or 2 annexes to strengthen our structure, especially since the regional headquarters has been set up. While waiting for that, we are focusing on road development, healthcare and educational facilities to improve daily life of our people. Those returning for a second term describe the first mandate as a learning phase, a true baptism of fire that helped them understand the workings of the regional institution. The first term was a foundational one, focused on launching the institution, but now, with many projects already prepared, we are confident that this second term will allow us move to a higher level of action. The first term was one of learning because no one truly masters how this institution functions. But now that we understand the workings of the administration, we must work hard for the well-being of our population. The Littoral Regional Council will collaborate more closely with local committees.
Le Conseil régional du littoral.
The Littoral Regional Council is composed of 90 councillors, 7 elected officials and 20 traditional rulers. These results come 2 days after the November 30 Regional Council elections.
Thanks very much, Morindi. And on to this information, of course, this news. And the reactions are keep pouring in from all the political class following the death of Anicet Ekane, underscoring the gravity of the incident and the need for clarity and investigation. A compendium of those reactions in the following feed. The death of George Anicet Ekane, president of Manidem and a prominent figure in Cameroon's opposition landscape, has prompted a wave of shock and indignation across the political sphere and beyond. Ekane died while being held at the Secretariat of State for Defense, set in Yaoundé, under circumstances that many political actors and diplomats now describe as deeply troubling. In the hours following the announcement, reactions poured in, each underscoring the gravity of the incident and the pressing need for clarity. The first strong condemnation came from the Social Democratic Front chairman, Honorable Joshua Osei, who extended heartfelt condolences on behalf of his party. He emphasized the need for unity and compassion during this moment of national grief, expressing support for Ekane's family, political comrades, and the broader civic community affected by the tragedy. In a communique released on December 2, UPC lamented the circumstances of Ekane's passing, describing his detention as arbitrary, unacceptable, and warned that it projects a damaging image of Cameroon to the world. The party further called for stronger protections for political detainees and advocated an amnesty for individuals incarcerated in related political cases. Built on this call for accountability, the Cameroon Party for Reconciliation, PCRN, expressed its profound sadness while echoing the UPC's concern. The PCRN urged the authorities to conduct a serious, rigorous and timely investigation to determine what truly led to Ekane's death, stressing that only a transparent process can restore public trust. As political voices continue to rise, former government minister Issa Chiroma Bakari published an emotional 5-page tribute. His message, more personal yet not less forceful, pledged that Ekane's legacy would endure. I promise you here and before the people that your sacrifice will not be in vain, he wrote, adding that Ekane's memory would live in every act of justice and every step towards truth. The reactions were not confined to the national stage. From the international community, the Canadian High Commissioner to Cameroon voiced deep concern, noting that the circumstances of Ekane's death raised troubling questions. The diplomat called for an independent and transparent investigation, reinforcing the mounting pressure on authorities to shed light on what happened. Welcome back, and December has arrived, but then many families in Douala are saying that the holiday spirit is not actually falling out of reach. So after the elections here that led to economic slowdown, many families are saying that they might not be able to provide for the festive period for their children. Of course, these chairs will certainly be absent, but then there are those who think that they could still count on last-minute roundabouts. Sherifa Saleh.
The festive lights may be going up across Douala, but for many parents, the mood is far from celebratory. In the streets of the economic capital of Cameroon, residents say they are approaching the end of 2025 without the financial means to prepare for Christmas and New Year festivities. I have children under my care. I don't know how I will satisfy their wants during this festive period, coupled with inflation, but we hope that things get better before the festive season. Parents interviewed this December 2, 2025 say the uncertainty brought by the 2025 elections left businesses struggling and household income strained. We are not even supposed to celebrate the end of year festivities because we are just from facing post-electoral crisis. We still have children's school fees unpaid, and I don't see what will permit us spend during this period. The economic slowdown, marked by reduced trade and sporadic disruptions during the political season, has left many households with little room to plan for the traditional holiday spending. But not everyone is giving up hope. Some parents say they remain optimistic that the coming weeks will bring opportunities to earn, even if late, allowing them to offer their children a memorable holiday. I have 5 children under my care, and I remain positive, hoping for the best, even at the last minute. As the festive season approaches, many in Douala are relying on faith and whatever opportunities arise to brighten the end of the challenging year. For now, parents say they are simply hoping for better days before the celebrations begin.
And First Lady Chantal Biya is urging Cameroonians and their global partners to make sure they step up the fight against HIV/AIDS, hailing past progress but warning against complacency. She called for renewed determination to stamp out the pandemic once and for all. Ate Bonaventure reports from Yaoundé.
Chantal Biya remains faithful to tradition. On the occasion of the 38th World AIDS Day this December 1st, the founding president of the African Synergies Against AIDS and Suffering reaffirms her determination to overcome this global pandemic. In her message, she first pays tribute to all victims of the disease, before acknowledging the major progress achieved since the beginning of this fight, carried out alongside many committed partners. It was an occasion to look back at the journey towards the eradication of AIDS. According to Mrs. Chantal Bia, collective action is yielding results. However, the First Lady recognizes that despite the progress made, many challenges remain. She highlights the need to reduce mother-to-child transmission of HIV and to lower the rate of new infections amongst young people, particularly girls, and to strengthen pediatric care. On each of these fronts, the UN AIDS Special Ambassador calls for reinforced and sustained mobilization. To her, it is about saving lives and restoring hope to the millions of people infected or affected by the pandemic.
Meanwhile, health authorities in the southwest region are ramping up interventions after fresh revelations or data reveal that HIV infections in that part of the country has moved above the national average, and officials blame treatment disruptions linked to the present unrest in the southwest region as prevalent rate has stepped up to 3.2%. Sherifa Saleh report with girls from southwest correspondent Chama Richard.
The southwest region of Cameroon is confronting a concerning HIV prevalence of 3.2%, surpassing the national figure of 2.7%. According to the coordinator of the Southwest Regional Technical Group for the fight against HIV, the rise is partly driven by socio-political unrest that has displaced thousands and interrupted access to life-saving antiretroviral treatment.
We are affected by the socio-political instability in the northwest and the southwest, and that alone has made the availability of too many IDPs who maybe they were on treatment for some time and now they cannot more access their treatment.
In response, the region is rolling out a series of targeted interventions aimed at restoring continuity of care and preventing new infections. A pediatric campaign will strengthen HIV prevention, testing and treatment for children, an area health officials say requires urgent attention.
I mean, for this testing session that we had 8 positives and 5 new cases.
Health authorities in the southwest region are stressing the need for everyone to work together if the region is to meet the global HIV goals for 2030.
The message on His Excellency, the Governor of the Southwest region, I think is just that of abstinence, because the prevalence rate is very high.
Despite the challenges, officials expressed optimism that with renewed commitment and coordinated action, the region can reverse current trends and strengthen its fight against HIV.
Thanks very much, Sherifa Saleh. But then Cynthia Latu is reporting that health experts have actually said that treatment for HIV/AIDS has actually improved in Cameroon in recent years. Yet the key challenges remain stigma and poor adherence that continue to undermine the efforts to control the pandemic. Cynthia Latu.
HIV treatment methods have improved significantly over the years as researchers continue searching for more effective therapies and ultimately a cure.
Around 2018, 19, 20, dolutegravir came and changed the dynamics of HIV. It is first resistance to barrier, and it is very effective, and the viral load drop when you start taking it is up to 3 months.
But challenges remain. HIV coordinator Midi says obstacles come not only from patients themselves, but the society where stigma and misinterpretation still impede progress.
Everybody tolerates some of this medication, and with that you have to do all possible best to see how, if you cannot handle, you know your limitation, you refer. Also, faith-based organization. That's one of our big challenge now, because they claim to say they heal HIV. We face a lot of difficulty struggling to cancel some of these patients by bringing them back to treatment.
Because the illness has no cure, HIV care and treatment support supervisor Licky Winifred says ensuring that patients stay on treatment without losing hope is often a difficult task.
You find patients that will tell you that they are tired of taking medications, and they will keep asking you questions. Does it mean that you have to take these medications for life? And so Some of them, they'll tell, if I stop it now, what will become of me? Is there going to be any problem? It's just to encourage them.
Across Cameroon, 17,673 people tested HIV positive in 2024, according to the World Health Organization, a decline from previous years. But despite this drop, the government warns the country still faces a generalized epidemic with relatively low infection rates in the general population, but much higher rates among key populations.
Thanks very much, Cynthia Lati, and of course that draws the curtain for this edition of the 6:15 with me, Keja Henry Athebe. Thanking you for being there with us. Of course, Monique Nausi is just right ahead with the brief l'actualité. From all of us, it's goodbye.